The Oklahoma bombing. New evidence links prime suspect Tim McVeigh to a white supremacist cult. Correspondent Jim Stewart is on the case. A major setback for congressional term limits. Bob Schieffer is on Capitol Hill. Midwesterners are run out of town by a river. Vicki Mabry is on the scene in Missouri. And tonight, Eric Ingberg with a reality check. Phony bias claims by government workers are costing the rest of us real money.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. In just a few hours, demolition experts will take down what's left of the federal building in Oklahoma City, the bodies of 2 victims still inside. In the investigation of the truck bombing, prosecutors now say suspect Terry Nichols' brother may have been in on it too, but they offered no evidence today, filed no charges, and in a surprise move to many, a judge ordered James Nichols freed without bail. Correspondent Jim Stewart has new information tonight on the prime suspect in the case and his ties to a white racist cult.
2 days before the Oklahoma City blast, accused bomber Tim McVeigh placed a telephone call to this small commune of white supremacists in northeastern Oklahoma. Sources tell CBS News McVeigh made the call from Junction City, Kansas on April 17th, just 5 minutes after arranging to rent the Ryder truck used to carry the bomb. Authorities want to question the commune's leader, Robert Millar, about that call and others McVeigh made to the compound. They stress they have no reason at this time to believe Millar or any of his 75 followers were involved in the bombing, but they see the calls as part of an emerging pattern of relationships McVeigh had with white supremacist and armed militia groups. Millar has denounced the Oklahoma attack and says his organization is non-violent.
People live their private lives, family style. We're very strong on family. We're religious orientated, of course.
Meanwhile, sources confirm federal prosecutors are negotiating with Michael Fortier, a friend of Tim McVeigh's from Kingman, Arizona. Sources say Fortier admits helping McVeigh scout the federal building in Oklahoma City. He says he heard his friend vow, "I'm going to blow that place up," and tells prosecutors he knows more. And in Detroit today, a federal judge ordered James Nichols released on his own bond. Nichols had been charged along with his brother Terry and Tim McVeigh on explosives charges unrelated to Oklahoma City. Authorities don't want any more incidents like the Waco, Texas standoff, so they'll go slow in their questioning of the Oklahoma cult, which, like all of the other groups that Tim McVeigh reached out to in the days before the bombing, has no use for the federal government. Jim Stewart, CBS News, Washington.
From now on, there will be a constant reminder of the Oklahoma City bombing right outside the White House. For security reasons, a 2-block stretch of Pennsylvania Avenue is now closed to traffic. CBS News White House correspondent Rita Braver is there. Rita?
That's right, Dan, and I've got to tell you, it feels very strange to be walking here along the middle of Pennsylvania Avenue without lots of traffic zooming by. Now, even before the Oklahoma City disaster, as we previously reported, a special commission that was studying White House security had concluded that the avenue should be closed. The fear was that the place was vulnerable to a car or a truck bomb. Nevertheless, officials were reluctant to go forward with the closing. Oklahoma City changed everything. And after a classified briefing, President Clinton signed off on the closing. The big worry today was that traffic in the city would be incredibly snarled. That has not happened. There was kind of a party atmosphere out here today. Eventually, this whole area will be turned into a park, which could bring a happy ending to something that was driven by terrorism, Dan.
Rita Braver, our White House correspondent. Still to come, fasten your seatbelts for one of the biggest recalls in automotive history. And if you think a new computer would make your life easier, stay tuned.
How the hell do you do this?
You build a razor with a precision groove to help the Norelco lift and cut system shave closer than ever before. And what do you get? The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
Weeds keep coming back? Then kill the roots with Roundup. No root, no weed, no problem. Roundup.
Gas. When bloating, pain, and pressure tie you in knots, don't make the antacid mistake. Take this little pill instead. maximum strength Phazime. There's more gas relief in one Phazime soft gel than in a whole bottle of regular Maalox. All this Maalox can't get rid of gas, but with the liquid medicine in just one Phazime, the gas is gone. Take Phazime, and the gas is gone.
Backers of congressional term limits suffered a major defeat today. The United States Supreme Court ruled that individual states may not limit the terms of U.S. senators and representatives. The only way that can be done, the court said, is by changing the Constitution with a constitutional amendment. It was a close vote in the court, 5-4. And as correspondent Bob Schieffer reports, the term limit fight is not over.
The citizen groups who pushed hardest for term limits went to the Supreme Court to declare they'll just keep pushing.
The incumbent politicians in Congress can't stop it, nor will this U.S. Supreme Court decision.
The ruling struck down a term limit law Arkansas voters passed 3 years ago and effectively invalidates similar laws in 22 other states, including one signed last week in New Hampshire. Writing for the majority, Justice John Paul Stevens concluded allowing individual states to craft their own qualifications for Congress would thus erode the structure of the Constitution envisioned by the framers to form a more perfect union. The Senate's leading term limit supporter did not agree.
It indicates that the court is clearly out of touch, that they intend to be legislators instead of judges.
The court said term limits could be imposed only by Congress passing a constitutional amendment. So Speaker Gingrich promised to revive the issue next year.
This, I think, will frankly help us in the 96 campaign because it's clear that the liberal Democrats are bitterly opposed to allowing the American people to set limits.
Of course, commercials like this,
30 years in Congress means you got certain benefits,
made term limits such a hot issue last time that when Gingrich's predecessor Tom Foley came out against them, he lost big. But enthusiasm for term limits faded once new office holders were sworn in. House members voted them down 2 months ago. Senators say there's no way they'll pass there. Today, Foley was sanguine.
My belief is that term limits is dead. That's my belief.
And he's right about that. It takes 2/3 of the House and Senate to pass any constitutional amendment. And in this Congress, the number of legislators favoring term limits is nowhere near that. Dan?
Bob Schieffer, thanks. The federal government tomorrow will announce one of the biggest and costliest recalls ever. Affected nearly 9 million cars made by 11 automakers, about 1 in every 16 cars on the American road. The problem? Potentially dangerous Japanese-made seat belts on imported cars sold in this country from 1986 through 1981. I should say 1986 through 1991. The specific problem is a buckle that sometimes fails to latch or unlatch. Among the popular models being recalled are Honda's Accord and Civic, the Acura Integra and Legend, also Nissan's Sentra and its best-selling SX series cars, plus more than 40 other models made by 6 other Japanese companies, some sold by America's Big Three. At least 63 injuries but no deaths are blamed on the seatbelt defect. At least 13 cars of a freight train derailed today on a bridge over a Detroit area highway. 3 of the cars fell onto busy Interstate 696, but no vehicles were hit and no one was hurt. The highway was closed in both directions so crews could clear the wreckage and investigate the cause of the derailment. The Mississippi River is surging tonight, swollen by high water flowing in from the Missouri River. For some river towns, it's been a rerun of the terrifying summer of 1993. Correspondent Vicki Mabry reports from West Alton, Missouri.
When the Mississippi River crested at 49.5 feet in West Alton, Missouri 2 years ago, it virtually wiped out the tiny town. It's coming dangerously close again.
More than we can handle. Our levees are all shot now. I don't know what the people's going to do.
Nearly half of this town of 500 residents never came back after 93. They took government buyouts to move from the floodplain. Others were preparing to return when this flood hit. Many who returned are toughing it out this time.
Got my dog, got the barbecue.
Some go to dry land for food and companionship, then head home.
We didn't really move out. We've been staying there. And this is our first time coming out in about 4 days.
As bad as it is here in West Alton this year, it's still nothing compared with the summer of 93. Now there's water filling basements and lapping at first floors. Then there was nothing showing but rooftops. But in parts of the Midwest, it's a recurring nightmare. The frantic efforts to save homes and crops. The levee so battered from '93 they can't hold water back this time. The flooded homes and farmland. In a twist, a Cape Girardeau levee that was a savior 2 years ago gave way yesterday.
If you call getting flooded out of your home getting off easy, making it, missing 4 or 5 days of work and traveling in and out in a boat, then I guess we're lucky.
If luck holds, the rain expected at the end of the week won't be as heavy as it has been. The water, which has gone down an inch so far, will continue receding. And the flood of '95, the third worst in Midwest records, soon will be just a memory. Vicki Mabry, CBS News, West Alton, Missouri.
Just ahead, Bob Simon reports on jockeying for Jerusalem.
Fibercon or Metamucil? Both give you the same predictable regularity, the same natural action of fiber. So what makes Fibercon different? With Fibercon, I get my fiber in 2 caplets. Fibercon, fiber regularity that's easier to take.
It's a great time to be silver because you're over 50 and you haven't lost your edge. Now there's a Centrum made just for you. Centrum Silver for your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver. It's a great time to be silver.
How much do you pay for a minute of long distance to Europe?
It probably costs me more than $1 a minute.
It's very expensive.
$1, maybe more.
Introducing Sprint Sense International. Simply great rates to anywhere in the U.S. and now to anywhere in the world.
You can save on both international and domestic.
50 cents la minute pour la France. Nous so wenig? Wow.
This is one calling plan that sounds good in any language.
Call now for Sprint Sense International and get up to 100 minutes free.
Because the quality care standards take care of a customer's more than just fixing a car. Can you describe the noise? It's a noise. It's about listening, it's about communication. It's about getting the customer more involved. We'll call you by 10:30, 11. How many miles do you have on the car? You have to ask the right questions. You have to let them know that you're committed. We want you to be a customer for life. Your keys. And we thank you very much for doing business with us.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
A report card for doctors. Joyce Palso wishes she had seen one before botched surgery nearly killed her. But her doctor's record was kept secret by law.
All they had to tell me was the truth. But they're not allowed to.
She's right. Now one state has done something about it. Is it working? Eye on America tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
Israel today backed away from a plan to seize a tract of land in Arab East Jerusalem. That averted a crisis that could have brought down the Israeli government and ended the Middle East peace process. But it didn't settle the future of Jerusalem. Correspondent Bob Simon reports from the city that's sacred to 3 faiths and 2 nations.
Israel did something today the world is not used to seeing. It backed down in the face of international pressure and over the most sacred issue of them all, Jerusalem. Last month, the government announced the expropriation of 140 acres of land in the Holy City. Most of it, Arabs claimed, belonged to them. Most of it, the government admitted, would be used for Jewish housing. In any other city in the world, this would be a little local story, a zoning dispute. But in Jerusalem, there are no local stories and there are no empty lots. Every one is filled with claims and counterclaims. In the Holy City, a feud over a few acres is instantly and automatically an international incident. But the Palestinians who live here weren't looking to the United Nations or the Arab League. They were studying their maps and their future. They know that demography is destiny.
I have 56 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. Where would they go in future?
While the Jewish population of Jerusalem has grown dramatically since 1967, the Arabs comprise less than 25%. That's because, Palestinians will tell you, the Israelis do everything possible to discourage Arab building. Sama Zahaika lives in a cave today because the Israelis condemned his house and won't let him build another one. They want to transfer Palestinians out of Jerusalem, he says. They want to leave it only for Jews. Not true, says Jerusalem's mayor. The Arabs who are here to stay. But Jews must stay a majority.
Do you want to increase the proportion of Jews in Jerusalem?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. We want to have more Jews. We are not particularly interested
in having more Arabs.
Jerusalem, the city of peace, is the last stop on the road to peace. Israelis and Palestinians agreed to negotiate Jerusalem's future only after everything else is settled. Like other agreements on Jerusalem, that's broken down now. The latest holy war over the holy city has begun. Bob Simon, CBS News, Jerusalem.
In Poland today, huge crowds turned out to welcome a native son. Pope John Paul II returned for a one-day tour of the region where he grew up in southern Poland. President Lech Wałęsa joined a crowd of 250,000 at an outdoor mass.
I sent him to the store to get some Correctol.
What's the difference?
He brings home this.
It was cheaper. What's the difference?
What's the difference?
Year after year, women have trusted one laxative more than any other, Correctol. Its special formula combines a mild laxative with a stool softener for overnight relief that's gentle, predictable.
Hey, this isn't my regular beer.
It was cheaper. What's the difference?
Correctol, the gentle laxative more women trust.
He's one of England's most respected gardeners, Ashley Stevenson, former bailiff of the Royal Parks and Palaces. Ashley, you once were in charge of some of the most famous gardens in the world, and now that you're retired, what about your own personal garden?
It's small, but it's really quite lovely.
You don't by any chance use my favorite plant food, do you?
I was one of the first to use Miracle Grow, and I'm still using it. Miracle Grow makes a tremendous difference. You get many more flowers, and the colors are just brilliant.
Ashley, would you recommend Miracle Grow to everyone?
Absolutely.
If you're going out tonight to see some stars, don't forget Aurora. Don't forget your GM MasterCard, today's financial vehicle.
Here, boy, come.
There's still nothing more dependable than a DuPont-approved Stainmaster carpet. So for beauty that lasts, insist only on Stainmaster.
Hi.
Backed and warranted by DuPont.
Incredibles, ice cream and cake creations from Baskin-Robbins.
For these people to live, someone else must die. Who will get a transplant before time runs out? Find out on 48 Hours, Thursday.
There are all kinds of federal laws designed to fight discrimination in the workplace, and it turns out no one knows those laws better than federal workers. How to use the laws and how to abuse them at your expense. Correspondent Eric Ingberg has been investigating for tonight's CBS Evening News reality check.
Good afternoon, EEOC.
The Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. It's in charge of stopping job discrimination.
I'll switch you to an information specialist. Hold on.
And it's the federal agency with the highest percentage of job discrimination complaints filed by its own workers. Time out. Rampant bias at the EEOC? No, few charges are ever proven. It's the system.
Some of it comes out of a bad labor management relationship. I think some of it comes out of just an educated group of people who understand what the law is, what the procedures are, and what remedies may be available to them.
A CBS News examination shows most government agencies are swamped by discrimination cases that turn out to have no merit. Too often, they're filed by workers looking to manipulate a huge complaint bureaucracy to protect their jobs or even make a fast buck. They're called frequent filers.
They know the system. They use it. And they use it to their own advantage to the best of their ability.
The numbers do look suspicious. Every year, one of every 26 federal workers takes the first step toward lodging a bias complaint. Government employees are 8 times more likely to charge discrimination than those in private business, but their charges are less likely to be proven true.
It's like a bad apple in a barrel. It becomes destructive.
Jerry Shaw is the lawyer for the Association of Federal Managers. He says a worker facing discipline, even firing, can paralyze bosses by filing a bias complaint citing race, gender, age, health problem, or all of the above.
Once you've actually filed that complaint, that has bought you a form of immunity from the system.
It's bought you a shield. The capacity is there for the employees to blackmail the management. In some situations, inevitably, it has happened.
The case of an Agriculture Department employee we'll call Jane Kay illustrates the system at its worst. The record shows she had chronic behavior problems, once striking a superior. Managers trying to cope were slapped with a 4-year storm of bias complaints. Rather than fight them all, her bosses worked out a sweetheart settlement. Jane was given early retirement at full pension, plus this check for $100,000 to close the case. There was no formal investigation, no hearing, no court action, never a finding of any discrimination. It was, said an embarrassed official, a way to get her off the rolls. What's the government spending to deal with these cases?
Nobody knows.
Why is that?
Agencies don't systematically keep records of any of the costs of discrimination complaint processing.
And it's a big process. 20,000 workers press formal charges annually. The average case lasts a year, and it takes 11,000 specialists to process them. Minimum cost of just the known expenses, $180 million a year. No one doubts there are real cases of discrimination in the government. The pity is that the real victims now tend to get lost in a system overburdened by complaints from some workers who are manipulating well-intentioned laws. Eric Engberg, CBS News, Washington.
Sometime tomorrow morning, demolition experts are set to destroy the remains of the federal building in Oklahoma City. It is not the end of the story, but for many who have lived through the tragedy, it marks the end of a horrific chapter in their lives. Scott Pelley was at the scene today.
In Oklahoma City, this was the day of last respects.
It's such a terrible, terrible, sad feeling.
After more than a month, they came by the hundreds.
I can't believe that someone actually meant to do that. All those lives and all those families destroyed.
A last look, a heartbroken farewell to people and a place most never knew.
To show my respects for those who died and my love and concern for those that have to go on without them.
34 days, but no time to heal. Not until they bury the building. Today, they set the charges that will break what little strength remains. More than 200 sticks of dynamite set to go off at the touch of a button just after 7 o'clock in the morning.
The center of the building is going to fall to the north. We're going to try to get the wings to fall towards the center and towards the north also, into the street.
How do you think you will feel at that moment?
Relieved.
Laverna Williams and her staff were in the devastated Social Security office. 16 colleagues were killed. Today, they reopened.
I think it'll be important that it's gone. It's a reminder. That's right.
A reminder of evil and also heroism. They came today to set the memories, to record it, one man said, in our hearts. Scott Pelley, CBS News, Oklahoma City.
It hurt me to see Mom suffering. She always had an excuse not to see a doctor. It's just the way she is. Finally, the stomach pain got so bad that she had to go. Was she relieved when the doctor said Mylanta?
Nothing soothes away heartburn faster than Mylanta liquid. It's the one doctors recommend most, even over prescription drugs for occasional heartburn and acid indigestion.
My doctor said Mylanta.
Introducing the new no-fee Ford Citibank card. With every purchase, you get an amazing 5% Ford rebate that grows toward the purchase or red carpet lease of a new Ford or Lincoln Mercury, like an Explorer, a Continental, or even a Mustang. Which means you can save big and really knock down your monthly car payment. All with the superior services of Citibank. Call 1-800-374-7777 for the new no-fee Ford Citibank card.
I eat a lot of chicken.
Doesn't look like the stuff you buy in the store.
It's just like you cut it at home. Now there's Louis Rich carving board chicken.
Carving board. Louis Rich.
Just like homemade. Good sandwich.
So you can just get this at the supermarket. Yes.
Switch to Rich. Louis Rich. Today's taste.
In an ordinary day, the child's bright laughter fills the air. One loving word, one loving glance, there's sunshine everywhere. Your Werther's is his Werther's too, so glistening with its golden glow, so sweet and creamy, just plain good. You're so alike, the two of you. Werther's and that feeling that you never will forget. When one who loves you says to you, you're someone very special too.
Computers are supposed to make life easier. About 1 in 3 American households has bought that theory and purchased a PC. But what they didn't tell you is that life does not get easier right away. For many newcomers, PC stands for pain and confusion. Reed Galen reports.
Jamie Gold is about to buy her first computer. She hardly knows where to start.
How do I turn this one on?
She's the kind of customer that is turning the industry upside down.
What does the 4 megabyte memory mean versus... So that's
home PC sales are now exceeding business sales, up 25% last year and still accelerating. Jamie Gold spent $2,800 buying into the sales pitch that computers are now easy to use.
This is the world's easiest personal computer.
It makes you powerful. I just think I want to plug it in first and use it.
But it's still not just another household appliance.
Installation disc number 1. I don't know which the interface cable is. What the hell is a power module? I'm not dumb. Hold on. There's nothing that looks like this. I don't hear it.
Jamie is gridlocked with plenty of company.
It's printing way too large, and I don't know why.
For years, phone and help centers were used by technically inclined users. Now, 80% of IBM's calls come from so-called newbies. Here at Computer Maker Digital Equipment, calls doubled in 6 months.
I'm having trouble with the modem. When I start, there are no beeps or anything.
Many callers expressed dismay that cyberspace seems more like the Twilight Zone.
The industry is being sent that message by every telephone call that comes into technical support.
A lot of new buyers are motivated by the uneasy feeling that they are falling behind in the information age. But their anxiety only deepens if the computer proves more difficult to get started on than they may have expected. In one survey, half of new users said they were ready to throw their computers out the window out of sheer frustration.
I have no idea what this disk drive is. No idea.
No wonder the book series Computers for Dummies has sold 18 million copies. At software giant Microsoft Corporation,
and I'm looking on the menu bar,
users are tested like lab rats in a software maze as focus shifts from making computers more powerful to making them easier to use.
The biggest user problem we see right now is ease of use, particularly for the home or the beginning user.
See the troubleshooting information in section 5. Okay.
By 1998, half of American households will have computers. Jamie Gold swears she'll have crossed the Great Divide by then.
How the hell do you do this?
Swears a lot, in fact.
I want to kill and what I don't
Reed Galen, CBS News, Los Angeles.
I know just how she feels. Before we say goodnight, some news about ourselves. CBS News management has decided that the CBS Evening News should return to a single anchor format. Connie Chung's future with CBS News is still under consideration and discussion. If you'll allow a personal note, though, I'd like to take this moment to wish my longtime friend and colleague Connie Chung good luck and Godspeed. Dan Rather, CBS News reporting. Good night.
Interface cable. I don't know which the interface cable is to the printer's interface port. Well, the picture shows it here. I hope one of these is going to fit and one isn't. That one.
Experience CBS News.
This is CBS.
A drive is on. The Pontiac Sales Drive. There's no stopping till we set a new sales record. Now through May 31st, get special 3.6 APR GMAC financing on new Bonnevils. Get the #1 selling Pontiac Grand Am and pay just $199 a month with a 3-year Pontiac Smart Drive. Hurry to the Pontiac Sales Drive, going on now. See your Pontiac people of Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky. The sales drive is on.
I want President Clinton to come through with some federal